Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. Hi, I'm 25 female. I'm a South Asian, but my family has been living in America for 3 generations. I have no siblings, but many cousins. I have a cousin named Devi, 25 female. As we were the same age, we were compared a lot growing up. Devi was a typical bully in school, while I was the low-key nerd. She would get all her friends to try and bully me, but it wouldn't work and that would piss her off. However, she was fairer than me, and in a South Asian family, no matter how pretty you are, the fairer one is always considered prettier. So my family would always consider her prettier, although to the rest of the world, I was prettier. She would constantly use that as some sort of a weapon to put me down and make her feel better and superior. She would get so jealous when boys would hit on me and not on her. And whenever I brought the boy I was seeing home, she would mock me in front of him and my family and try to make him feel uncomfortable. She would keep attacking my skin color and often put her hand on mine to highlight the difference. To be honest, I didn't feel hurt because I was way more mature than that, but rather tired and irritated because she would do it over and over again, and no one would say anything to her. Hence, I had to stop bringing friends and partners home as this behavior made me feel very embarrassed. Cut to 6 months ago, Devi got engaged through an arranged marriage process. She had started preparing for the wedding and so on. She had asked 2 of her friends and her own sister to be a bridesmaid, and the wedding date was set. 3 days before the wedding, she had planned for a bridal shower with her bridesmaids. I don't know what exactly went down. The following day, all her friends dropped out of the wedding. So basically, only her sister was left. Apparently, she had asked her friends to pay for her honeymoon as they were the bridal party and was supposed to sponsor it. I think they politely declined. Devi, being Devi, told her friends that if they can't pay, they can't be her bridesmaids, as if it was some sort of a privilege. Miss Entitled Devi was in for a shock when both of them dropped out. Then immediately she calls me. She says she's coming home. I didn't say anything. She comes home with a bridesmaid dress, shoves it on my lap saying, "Okay, so I need you to be the bridesmaid at my wedding. I hope you know all that entails. My honeymoon needs to be sponsored." I looked at her and laughed. I told her that there was no way on earth I was going to be a bridesmaid. She just lost it and started screaming at me. And then she started crying. I understand she was stressed, but there was no way I was going to step in. Was I the a-hole? Update. Devi cried to my parents saying I was ruining her day and all, but when I didn't budge even after my parents asked me to be a bridesmaid, she got mad and uninvited me from the wedding. But things got worse. With all the commotion, Devi clearly kept lashing out at her sister who was the only remaining bridesmaid. They had a huge fight after Devi threw a tantrum on the morning of the wedding. So on the day of the wedding, Devi's sister also dropped out of the wedding completely, nowhere to be seen. It was so sad apparently because there were just groomsmen and Devi and so moody throughout the wedding. Good riddance. You're not the a-hole, OP. Not only did Devi want you to step in as a bridesmaid last minute, but she also wanted you to sponsor her honeymoon. Why on earth would you do that? Especially when you two don't have a good relationship and she has been nothing but mean to you. I hope she learns from this. She needs to tone down her entitlement and be a better person. I really pity her groom. Hopefully he has had some classes on how to stand up for himself. Story 2. I, 28 female, had recently lost my job, and because my family and I were tight on money, I decided to find a part-time job at a local shoe store. It was temporary until I could find something better and more permanent, so I was fine with the pay. Anyway, my boss Dana, 30 female, has 3 other employees. Max 25 male, Gina 35 female, and Annie 26 female. When I applied for the job, I was told I would work the register, make phone calls to our clients, clean the shop at least once a week, work the back and bring in the inventory, etc. I was fine with it and agreed. Dana seemed like a nice enough person at the interview. The first day I thought was rather strange. Like me, Dana is a plus-size woman, and the first thing she asks me is if I have social media. When I say I do, she asks to see my pictures. I find it strange and don't know how to react. She seems to pick up on it and laughs it off and instead shows me her photographs. She goes on and on about how so many people find her beautiful and how an agency contacted her and wanted her to model for them. She asked if that ever happened to me before. I smiled tightly, told her I thought that was cool, but no. She laughed and left it at that. The first few days I had a normal amount of work, the register, a client list to call, working in the back. I noticed, however, that all Dana did was sit in the back playing on her phone, while everyone else stayed on their butt in the back. By lunchtime, someone would buy Dana lunch. She would never pay for it, simply say she was hungry, and someone would offer to pay for her. Weeks go by and I find myself doing everyone's work, bringing in the merchandise from the trucks to inside the shop, putting in inventory, taking it out if we needed to send it back. I took everyone's phone calls, I cleaned the shop before and after closing. Gina would always make me clean even when I'd done my turn for the week. Then Dana starts to pester me. Whenever lunch came around, she would say, "Oh, I'm starving." Or, "You know what I could really go for right now? I'm dying to eat a burger." It was clear that she was telling me it was my turn. Finally, she outright told me I should buy her lunch. I was already fed up with her behavior and simply said, "Okay, Venmo me the money for your meal first. I always bring my lunch from home. There's no need for me to go out of my way to buy something." At first, she was shocked, but then got angry and asked Annie to run down the street to get her something. Since then, everyone is calling me an a-hole for refusing to pay for her lunch. And she has been running me ragged, so am I the a-hole? Edit for questions. No, Dana is not the owner. It is a chain shoe store, a small one. No one goes to supervise ever. Why have I not quit? My family is going through financial struggles at the moment. Yes, I am looking for another job. It is temporary. Gina closes and opens the shop. She is also a bully. Dana always goes home early due to stomach aches or gives herself extra days off. Everyone else does minimal work or none at all. And I'm being picked on for not doing more. I also don't have the means to buy her lunch. The pay is way too low. And all that goes for bills. I take the bus to save up to $12 on gas. You're not the a-hole, OP. All your co-workers are, Dana especially. She's so entitled and so used to everyone kissing her ass that when you refused to do it, she got mad at you. She's an a-hole. I'm sorry, your family is in a tough financial situation right now, so you can't quit. Continue standing up for yourself and ignoring your other co-workers. Hopefully you find a much better job with sensible co-workers soon. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. Document all these in case she fires you for not buying her lunch. You already did yourself good by what you did. That showed her that you are not dumb. Do not let any one of them intimidate you. Also, this early, start reminding Gina that you're done with the task of cleaning for the week, and remind her of the task agreement. Not the a-hole. What an entitled jerk. If you can't be bothered to buy your own lunch or make something at home to bring in, then don't go looking for handouts. And to ask someone to buy you food when they bring their own lunch from home, what a jerk. There is no way in heck that you're the a-hole, and I hope you find a better job soon with kinder people. Not the a-hole. Is she the owner? What about the other managers? HR? Start documenting how everyone is on their phones, not working and such. Because I'm really sure there are cameras to back it up. Document how she's using and abusing her position of power to get free food off of people. Also tell her you have no money on top of it too. Document how much work increased for you since denying her and what little they do. She's abusing her position and abusing you because you didn't cater to her hand and food and buy her food when you told her you bring your own. Those jobs are not worth it. I hope you find another one soon. Story 3. I work in retail. I do stocking and I'm a backup cashier at a dollar store. Not gonna specify for obvious reasons. Yesterday was a busy day because of graduation time. We closed at 9 and around 8 it started to die down. So we start vacuuming and cleaning and getting the store ready to close. At around 10 minutes till closing time, this woman with her 4 kids walked in. Right out of the gate it was bad. Screaming, crying, even cursing. The kids were cursing, not the mother. Eventually I guess she got tired and let them run amok in the store, tearing shit down from the shelves and messing up the end caps I had just set back up. Several minutes pass and I hear the kids get quiet, so I thought maybe they calmed down. I took the dust broom and started doing aisle runs with it. I got to the toy store and I felt like crying. These kids had opened up every Hot Wheels car on the bottom hooks and were playing with them in the middle of the aisle. Packaging everywhere, torn apart, and you would think it was Christmas. At this point, it was after 9 and the assistant manager was counting everyone's tills. I didn't yell, didn't scream, didn't talk to these kids in a dehumanizing manner. Even though I wanted to, I didn't show it. I went to the front, got a basket, went back to the toy aisle and picked up the torn apart packaging and the cars. When I found the mother, I just pointed at the basket and said, "Your kids did this." I set the basket down in front of her and went to finish sweeping. When I was done, I was walking back to the front and I heard the mother arguing with the assistant manager about my behavior. She told him that I shouldn't have come to her about her kids. I should have gone to him first and let him deal with it. She also complained that I was telling her how to raise my kids. That's when I told her that maybe she should watch over her kids better and not let them run all over the store and mess things up 10 minutes before we close. Let me say that at this point I should have been clocked out and gone already. She got angry and left all of the things she had in her basket on the register belt and grabbed her kids and left. We had to put all of that stuff back again. By the way, the packaging on the toy cars was too damaged in order for us to scan them so that she could pay for them. So we had to mark them off as in-store damages, which is time-consuming and can put us back. The assistant manager is chill, so he didn't care at that point. He just wanted her out. But another coworker confronted me about it and told me that I really shouldn't have talked to her like that, and I needed to be more understanding of mothers. At first, I vehemently disagreed, but on the way home, I started to think, maybe I shouldn't have talked to her like that. Maybe I should have just picked up the toys and brought them straight to damages. All of that was probably just wasted energy. Am I the a-hole? Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. She was so far out of line, I am amazed the manager didn't force her to pay for the damages. Those poor kids will never have a chance in life if they are raised by a horrible excuse for a mother. I mean, at some point, those kids are going to cause damage someone insists to be reimbursed for. And if they truly believe this is normal acceptance behavior, they will end up paying dearly. Not the a-hole. Understanding of mothers. I'm a mother. I don't allow my children to behave that way. And if they ripped open toys in a shop, you'd better believe I would be paying for them and taking it out of their pocket money and birthday money and Christmas money. And they wouldn't get the toys. But it wouldn't come to that because I have my children in sight when we are out. And if they're old enough to be out of sight, they're old enough not to do that. Oh, good effing Lord, I'm a mom, and I would be horrified if my kid behaved that way. I would have insisted on paying for everything my kid damaged and would have made them help clean up. Kids behaving like that is more of a reflection on the parent and bad parenting in general than the kids, in my opinion. Not the a-hole. Having worked for years in customer service, some customers need to be knocked down a peg and put in their place. I'm glad your manager supported you instead of spouting off some "the customer is always right to the point that they abuse employees" bullshit.